What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Jeremy Wormy, and I'm coming at you with a new video. And today, well, actually, let's say yesterday we got some really big news, like news that I can't believe actually happened. The MCU is in a awful state right now, just downright awful. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is a dead movie. Phase 4 was abysmal. You can't even count really that the Spider-Man movie as actually being MCU because that's a Sony property. It was just a disaster after disaster that they tried to pawn off these disasters as COVID, and then Spider-Man happened and you couldn't really use the COVID thing. Yes, technically Doctor Strange made almost $1 billion, but if it's not $1 billion movie to MCU, that's a failure. We went on for years of $1 billion movies. Well, not years. We went on for a good chunk of time of $1 billion movies. So when it came to a time that you weren't getting $1 billion movies, that's a failure. You then had Thor: Love and Thunder. Oh God, that. And then ultimately Wakanda Forever. That was abysmal, played off of your emotions, profited off of your emotions for the passing of Chadwick Boseman, and all while this woman continued pushing her propaganda, her beliefs, all sorts of stuff into the films. Now, just because this one individual is gone does not mean MCU is on a good track. Just means that this one individual is gone. You still have tons of work to do at MCU. But who am I hinting at? Victoria Alonso is reportedly out at Marvel Studios after Disney CEO Bob Iger, almost said Chapek, Iger called into question quality issues at Marvel, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania failed at the box office. This woman is downright awful. I don't know of any person I would think being more awful than her. She has repeatedly changed stuff. Well, granted, MCU has changed stuff. She has repeatedly forced herself into other shows, other projects, whether it be... she's just been everywhere. She's in everything. And yeah, she did get a start at Iron Man and helped in Iron Man 2. But at those times you had, God, why am I blanking on that producer? Like the guy in charge of MCU at the time, of the MCU, was actually knowledgeable. He knew what he was doing. He was crafting a universe. Gets ousted by Chapek. Chapek rides off his goodwill until we get to his stuff, which was predominantly, you could say Black Panther, but that was, yeah, you could say Black Panther was primarily his, but also there was Captain Marvel that Chapek helped, not Chapek, Foggy. Why am I saying Chapek? Foggy introduced Chapek, and Iger also spearheaded this ideology. This ideology precipitates all throughout Disney. So just the fact that one woman is reportedly gone doesn't change anything. But it is good to have some schadenfreude that she may be gone. I hope she's gone. She's an awful human being. But let's get into it. A new report claims that Marvel Studios Vice President Victoria Alonso is no longer part of the company, less than a month after the Walt Disney CEO Bob Iger called into question the quality of a recent Marvel Studios film and TV series, and the most recent film release, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, collapsed at the box office. The Hollywood Reporter Bryce Kitt and Aaron Couch report Alonso has exited the company on Friday, but the reason for the exit are unclear. I am going to be cautious because she could still be there. Because let's take the Kathleen Kennedy. She's gone. She's back. She's gone. She's back. She's gone. She's back. We've had that over and over and over again. Even with Kathleen Kennedy leaving, doesn't mean Star Wars is going to change. You still have an ideology from the ground up over throughout Lucasfilm. So even though same goes to Victoria Alonso, even if Victoria Alonso is completely gone and out, the ideology still precipitates. Alonso joined Marvel Studios in 2006 as chief of visual effects and post-production and was a co-producer on 2008's Iron Man. Yep. Man, that movie was so good. Long are gone are those days. She would go on to co-produce Iron Man 2, Thor, and Captain America, the First Avenger, before becoming executive producer on Avengers. Granted, she also had others at her side. She was not the sole person leading the charge, and at that time, they had more of the writers and directors were in charge. So they were allowed to do things. Producers weren't the champions that they were the money getters. They were the people putting together the business deals like they're supposed to be. They're not these creatives. Well, now they're being heralded as creatives when in reality they're not. They're kind of dumb. They know business, they don't know creativity. In 2021, she had recently been promoted to president of physical and post-production, visual effects, and animation production at Marvel. And how has that CGI been looking, by the way? How has that CGI been looking? Oh, it's been awful. Oh, downright awful. Alonso exit comes as Marvel Studios' most recent release, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, collapsed at the box office. According to the numbers, the film has so far grossed only $205.8 million domestically and $256.8 million internationally for a global gross of $462.6 million. Flop. This is Marvel Phase 5 off to a fantastic start. Just wonderful, fantastic. It's dead in the water. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what's going on. These movies are god-awful. And also, take Quantumania, for example. The CGI on that looked hideous. MODOK, not Kang. MODOK was a joke. And what was her position? President of Physical and Post-Production Visual Effects and Animation Production. She was in charge of all that. It was a joke. The PS4 had better graphics. No. The PS2 had better graphics. The PlayStation had better graphics. The Game Boy had better graphics. Let's get over here. Not only does Alonso exit come amid one of the worst performing Marvel Cinematic Universe films to date, both at the box office and with audiences, but it also comes amid the Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger calling into question the quality of Marvel films and TV series. Now, he does bring up some decent points. The thing is, though, Bob Iger is part of the problem. Bob Iger initiated a lot of these ideologies. He pushed for a lot of these ideologies. He's the reason they're in such a tight squeeze, but nobody likes to point that out. All the business deals that he made, all the companies that they purchased, he is the reason they're in this mess. He's one of the many reasons. Okay, he's not just the reason, but he's one of the many reasons. That's why just because Victoria Alonso may be out, looks like she is, possibly not. Well, I have to wait and see. Right now it's being reported. Tomorrow it could be, hey, she just went out to go get a cup of coffee. All of that being said, just because she's gone doesn't mean anything's going to change. Your writing staff has to drastically change. Your Foggy technically has to just release all control completely. These movies are being made on a production line of sorts. They're not anything wild or crazy anymore. They're all carbon copies of themselves, beat for beat for beat for beat for beat. The only time you get something that's not the same beat is when it's made by Sony, when it's the Spider-Man movies. And those are the only decent things Sony's been putting out. Venom movies are kind of classic MCU, just with a different style. Morbius was a disaster. God, we're getting Kraven the Hunter, and that's going to be god-awful. Animal rights, Kraven the Hunter, PETA. But his comments, I mean, they were interesting. They questioned, hey, the quality, do we need all these sequels? But he also said, maybe we should keep pushing our own new characters instead of going back to some classic characters, you know, like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Let's use the Netflix series, using a bunch of those characters that were really good. Oh, well, they are going to be using one. They're going to be using Daredevil, and that's not going to be good. Victoria Alonso has also made other comments in the past. This is why she's so vile. Let's go all the way back to 2018. Gay Marvel exec longs for LGBTQ heroes. Well, LGBT heroes. Yes, she pushed for LGBT heroes. She called out Chapek for not standing up against the Parental Rights in Education bill. She's one of the many reasons, one of the many, many reasons Disney is in the situation they're in over in Florida. Marvel Studio President Victoria Alonso declares diversity and inclusion is not a political game for us. She also renamed the meaning of Namor, saying boy without love. She's one of the people that came out and addressed that first. She is a vile woman. She is just awful. And they have this tweet here in Bounding on Comics that is just wonderful. This is her at the GLAAD Awards. I think this is what it was. Yeah, the GLAAD Awards. This is her there. Don't even know what this is, but we're going to full screen this and we're going to play this as loud as I possibly can. So, just making double checking. Desktop audio is on. Go.
Take a stand against all these crazy, outdated laws. Take a stand for the family. Stop saying that you tolerate us. Nobody tolerates me, let me tell you that.
Nobody tolerates me, let me tell you that. She is a vile woman, and it's pausing up a bit, so I'm trying to keep that going and stuff. That way we can see everything, but she goes on a tear. Again, calling Disney to basically take action. Ah, crap. Let me try it from this direction. It's not even loading anymore. Anyways, she basically declares that you need to be a part of this. You guys need to be doing this. You need to be fighting. She's a vile woman that just pushes her ideology everywhere. And again, go back to this main point. Just because she's gone doesn't mean things are going to change. Just because she has decided to leave doesn't mean anything at MCU is going anywhere. She is just one piece of this inevitable Disney puzzle. She needs to leave. She's not the only one that needs to be out. You have dozens, thousands of people from the bottom up that need to be lugged out. Begone! They just need to go. From Lucasfilm, from Disney itself, from Marvel, tons of people need to be gone, Iger included. The company needs an entire scrub down. Even the executive board needs to be scrubbed down. But, as I always say, that's just where I'm coming from. But let me get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it out with your friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye for now.